Hi, my name is Steve Harris. I'm a life and business strategist, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Edge Ecution. I'm also the first coach that you should have called to multiply your business profits, and really, I'm kind of the last guy you'll need. And today, I'm going to be talking about my top 5 tips on how you can make more money and attract more customers. So here's the first tip. Your brand is not your logo. Your brand is about the emotional connection that your customers have to your product. So here's the question. Do you have an emotional connection to your customers? Now let me break it down. Let's make it practical. Your brand must do one of 5 things, or in my case, all of 5 things. Number 1, a brand that people love. Now, all of these things that I'm sharing are strategies, and I need you to be able to look at your brand and say, which of the boxes do I tick? So first off, your brand must be one that people love. So love is an expression. So question is, do people love your brand? Now, if this is your strategy, if you're building a brand strategy concerning what people love, then you can't have any scandals, you know what I mean? It's all, unicorns and rainbows and butterflies and kumbaya and all that jazz. It's about what people love. So if you're pushing a brand that people love, it's all about those things. Number 2, the second kind of connection or emotion that a brand must resonate is, to be honest, it's a brand that people hate. Now, allow me to explain. I'm not saying that people should hate your brand. I'm saying the enemies of your brand should hate your brand, okay? So it's a case of pitting us against them. Now, number 3 and number 4 are kind of intertwined. Number 3 and number 4 is they must either love to hate you or they must hate to love you. And number 5, ignore. Now, many of you watching this actually fall in this category. You post something on Instagram and you're expecting to get tons and tons of likes and tons of comments, but flies over your head. People ignore. Now, here's the thing. If your marketing is being ignored, your customers are not going to remember you. So the question is, which of these emotions is your brand communicating? Stay for the next tip. Don't sell features or benefits. I know what you're thinking. Steve, are you serious? Come on, you're supposed to sell features, you're supposed to sell benefits. Sorry, sweetheart, don't sell features or benefits. If you want to be able to make money and attract these customers, you have to go several steps higher. What do? You've got to sell your customers' deepest, darkest fantasy. Let me give you an example. So check it out. I've seen people on social media, maybe on Instagram, and they're selling hair. So you got 2 women who are selling hair. They're selling bone straight hair, 21 inches from Brazil. And one Instagrammer is saying, oh, come and buy the hair. She shows you the hair. Maybe she's brushing it and she's combing and she's shaking her head. I'm sure you've seen those videos. She's shaking her head around and she tells you the hair is 21 inches. And that's great. You've seen the hair. But imagine if the second other person doesn't say any of that stuff, but all she says to you, that if you walk into an event and no one notices your hair is fake. Now, what's that going to make you do? It's going to make you say that, come on, it's true. The last event I went to, how many people noticed my hair? No one notices. And then she now tells you that she doesn't sell hair. She sells hair that turns other people's heads. Now, when you as the customer hear that, you're thinking to yourself, more. If I walk into that event and Shadi and my girls and all the girls turn and all the guys are like, who that girl? You know what I'm saying? And everyone's looking at you. That is really what you want. You don't really want bone straight because it's bone straight. You want the bone straight hair that makes people feel like, oh my God, babe, how far? Where did you get this hair? Right? And if no one notices your hair and she tells you your hair is fake, now what are you going to do? You're literally going to say to yourself, that's the hair that I want. Did you get it? You didn't sell the features or the benefits. You didn't say it's 21 inches. You didn't say it's from Brazil or from Peru. You didn't say none of those things. Those things are features and benefits. What you sold to me was the feeling of having hair that turns other people's heads. That's exactly what you need to be able to do. All right, so here's your third point, and perhaps this is my favorite point of them all. Your business must have a Pepe them strategy. I know what you're thinking. You guys are so posh. Pepe them. So Steve, what's Pepe them? Calm down. Your business, see, there's no English word for Pepe them. Do you understand what I'm saying? Your business must have a Pepe them strategy. Now, what does that mean? It is the perceived value that your customers get from your business that make other people jealous. I need to explain this. I need to explain this, and I need you to get this, right? I want you to get to the place where when customers buy from you, let me say it this way, you have to make people feel bad for not buying from you. You know what I mean? And you've got to make the people who bought it from you feel good. That, wow, they finally come through the gates of heaven. Only them, they're breathing rarefied air just by purchasing something that you know what I'm saying? It's the way, you buy, for example, one of Leonardo da Vinci's, drawings, and you know that there are very few people on the planet who have that. So you have to make the people who didn't get it, they have to feel bad that they have missed out on an opportunity. So you can't just be selling a product. You have to sell the product with a Pepe them strategy. You can't attract first-class customers by positioning yourself as an economy product or service. And you got to remember, like I've said, that there's the 90%, the 10%, and the 1%. The 90%, what they buy is a commodity. The 10%, what they buy is an accessory. And the 1%, what they buy is exclusivity. They buy scarcity, and they buy what I call I am not your matey. So you've got to ask yourself, with what you're selling, am I selling to the 90%? Because a lot of us, I find, are selling to the 90% and we're expecting 1% results. It doesn't happen like that. You cannot sell to the 90% and expect 1% results. If you're selling to the 90%, they are buying a commodity. If you're selling to the 10%, you are selling an accessory. It accessorizes who I am, okay? And now, here's the interesting thing. You want to be able to sell to the 1%. The 1% don't buy commodities. The 1% don't buy accessories. The 1% buy exclusivity. The 1% buy scarcity. The 1% buy I am not your matey. So you have stuck with me through 4 points, and you know what they say, the best is always the last. And I'm sure you remember what the 4 points are, because I can't remember what they are right now, but here we go. For this 5th point, I want to give you an example. So imagine if I asked you to corral or rally 1,000 sheep. If I asked you to rally 1,000 sheep and put them in a pen, right? But all you had was 30 minutes to gather 1,000 sheep all over the place, probably just, on a field. 1,000 sheep are in a field randomly. And you had a goal to rally these 1,000 sheep and put them in a pen, but all you had was 30 minutes. What would you do? Think about it for a moment. 1,000 sheep all over the place, just on the field. You're in the field, but you see 1,000 sheep right there, right? What is your strategy to get these 1,000 sheep to listen to you and end up in a pen, but all you've got is 30 minutes? Will you chase them? Because if you chase them, they'll run. Remember? If you chase them, they'll run. Would you attract them? Maybe you get some vegetables and leaves, but they're on a field, so there's tons of vegetables and fields. What would you do to get them? So whatever answer you're thinking about, and that's great, but this is what I think I would do. If I had 30 minutes to corral 1,000 sheep and put them in a pen, my strategy would not be to chase the sheep. My strategy will be to chase the shepherd. And I'm going to say that again. My strategy will not be to chase the sheep. My strategy will be to get the shepherd. So rather than chasing 1,000 sheep, I will pay one shepherd who understands the sheep, and he can corral the sheep because he has experience with the sheep. And this leads me to my 5th and final point on the top 5 with FCMB. Don't chase sheep. Chase the shepherd. Now, in every industry with your customers, I see what a lot of us are doing. You're chasing your customers. You're chasing these sheep. And allow me to say this is very instructive. The scripture says, my sheep hear my voice, and the voice of a stranger they will not obey. Now you've got to recognize that with your customers, you have sheep and you have goats. Many of your customers are goats, and I'm not trying to insult them. And if you're a customer watching, I'm really not trying to insult you. Please bear with me. There's a method to my madness. Many of your customers are not sheep, they are goats. What is the difference between sheep and goats? My sheep hear my voice and they will follow me. The voice of a stranger they will not obey. Now what does that mean? Your sheep are the people, are your tribe, they are your community, they are your Manchester United fans, they are your Arsenal fans, they are your House of Tara fans, they are your Apple fans, they are your FCMB fans. So you must have a strategy to attract your sheep. But the problem you have is that you're selling to goats, and it is, you know how stubborn goats are? Goats are stubborn. And that's the problem many of you have. You're trying to attract sheep and goats, right? But you haven't taken time to build a relationship so that your sheep will hear your voice. So think about it this way, and I want you to be strategic in your marketing. Who are the shepherds you need to be talking to? Who are the shepherds that have your target demographic that you want to be able to serve? So rather than selling, so for example, you got to recognize the difference between your customers and your consumers. Now what's the difference? Your consumers love what you do, but they can't pay for it. But your customers, on the other hand, they love what you do and they can pay for it. So if you spend all of your time marketing to your consumers, they will love you, but they will not buy from you. If you're not selling to a desperate audience, your sheep will waste your time. And you can't afford to have your sheep wasting your time. That's why your job must be to say, so that you don't spend 5, 8, 10 months training your sheep, fattening your sheep, and when it's time to go for the kill, they run away, so to speak. You must get a shepherd. And the shepherd says, these are the desperate sheep. These are the hungry sheep that whatever you give them, they will buy. I hope this has been beneficial. I hope you've enjoyed. I know this is probably, I don't know how many minutes this is going to end up being, but this has been a long time. But hey, I hope you enjoy this. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Drop a comments, and thank you, FCMB.